Thanks and welcome to join me on the 6:15. I'm Kejan Henry. I think we will begin with our headlines. With Cameroon edging closer to the 2025 presidential race, influential voices from the Grand North are raising a powerful argument. The region's demographic weight entitles it to the presidency, but as internal rift deepen and political unity remains elusive, voters are demanding more than population figures. Meantime, with the deepening rift in the Grand North, the Social Democratic Front, the SDF, has branded a brutal act of political intimidation as the party's regional headquarters in Yaoundé was forcefully demolished, allegedly on the order of a senior gendarmerie officer, a development the opposition sees as a desperate attempt by the regime to stifle democratic momentum just 3 months to the crucial 2025 presidential election. Elsewhere, a 24-year-old man has been arrested for attempting to sell bones exhumed from his cousin's grave. The sacrilegious act, motivated by a 4 million francs deal, has triggered debate on moral decay, graveyard security, and socio-economic pressures driving youth into crime. And bizarre wave of disappearing manhood has hit Yaoundé, but police say it is all hoax, though authorities have arrested many individuals behind the alarming trend. Welcome to the 6:15 news, reaching you live from our studios in Douala. Well, thanks and welcome. You can reach us through our respective platforms on Canal International. And I'll begin from Melon, where a 24-year-old man has been arrested for attempting to sell bones exhumed from his cousin's grave. The sacrilegious act has been motivated by a 4 million franc deal that has triggered very fresh debates on moral decay, graveyard security, and the socio-economic pressures that are driving youth into crimes. More in the report.
In a bold operation targeting illegal activities in the littoral region, the Mongo Gendarmerie caught an alleged bone trafficker red-handed. The 24-year-old man admitted to digging up his cousin's grave in Yamba, where he had been buried in February, to harvest human remains for sale. According to reports, the gendarmerie intercepted him while he awaited a buyer willing to pay 4 million francs CFA, raising pressing concerns about the grave security and illegal trade.
Following
a reconstruction of events, security officials urged local residents to remain vigilant and collaborate with law enforcement to prevent such disturbing crimes.
Je dirais aux populations d'être vigilants.
The shocking case highlights not just the horror of the trade in human remains, but also the desperate realities facing many young people in Cameroon today.
Well, thanks very much, Maureen D. And the bizarre wave of disappearing manhood has hit the capital city of Yaoundé. But police are saying that it is all husk, though many people have been arrested behind such an alarming trend. Meanwhile, mob justice has been condemned, and accused persons who actually applied mob justice have equally been arrested. We have the details with Hyacinth Chair from Yaoundé.
The news of manhood disappearance in Yaoundé has become so rampant, breeding fear and uncertainty, with inhabitants exercising skepticism on shaking hands with individuals they do not know. A phenomenon the police says is a false alarm as they present some of the actors to the public this June 18, 2025 at the Yaoundé Central Police Station number 3.
Some people that have started a new kind of phenomenon in Yaoundé, saying that when you greet somebody, after a few minutes, the person will accuse you by saying, penis has disappeared. And after that, the victims or the accused will be well beaten by the population that is around.
Following investigations after the different scenarios, the forces of law and order describe the situation as a new business strategy.
I want to say it's a kind of business we are suspecting there are hands of people hiding behind. And from what we are seeing, they will accuse left, people will run there, right, people will run there, and all the times at the population is just being beaten, and we can lose the population that does not even know, or the accused that does not even know anything. We have discovered that there are situations where after we got to the place, we discovered the person who said his penis has disappeared, he said, no, we can negotiate. You are negotiating what when your penis has disappeared?
The individuals behind bars are charged with various allegations.
We put together the charges of false accusation, beating of the victims or the accused by the population. We had a situation where a young boy was beaten, of 15 years, was beaten at the Sam Market until he had the rupture of the left side of his waist.
The police authorities also reveal that a series of medical examinations have been carried out to establish the claims of a reduction of the genital part, but no such results have proven right.
Well, thanks very much, Hassan Chair. We'll move over to Yaoundé, and of course there is this release that is coming from the Secretariat of the Social Democratic Front, talking about the unlawful demolition of the SDF regional headquarters in Yaoundé. And it reads, the Social Democratic Front, the SDF, informs the national and international public opinion that its regional headquarters located in the Olezwa neighborhood in Yaoundé was unlawfully demolished on Wednesday, June 18, 2025. Reportedly on the orders of a senior officer of the National Gendarmerie. This outrageous act, occurring just 3 months before the presidential election, is a clear sign of the regime's growing anxiety in the face of the rising momentum of the democratic opposition. The SDF strongly condemns this act of political intimidation, which constitutes a serious violation of the civil and political freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution. And the SDF says the wish to reassure its militants, sympathizers, and all citizens committed to justice that the Social Democratic Front remains steadfast, mobilized, and more determined than ever to pursue the path towards democratic change and victory in 2025, and that the legal team is actively working to uncover the full circumstances of this incident, establish accountability, and ensure that justice is served. And of course, it is coming from the Communications Secretariat of the Social Democratic Front. And with Cameroon's urging closer to the 2025 presidential race, influential voices from the Grand North region are raising a powerful argument. The region's democratic wheat entitled it to the presidency. But as internal rift deepens, the political unity remains elusive. Voters are demanding more than just population figures. Ntareke Divine, Ramsey Jr.
As Cameroon edges closer to the presidential election, a familiar argument is making the rounds that the Grand North, by virtue of its population, deserves the keys to the presidency. It is a tempting idea. After all, the Grand North, comprising the far north, north and Adamawa regions, holds significant demographic weight. But here's the problem. Numbers don't vote in unison, people do. And the reality is this: the Grand North is a region of profound diversity. Ethnic divisions, religious differences and political rivalries have long splintered any hope of a unified bloc. And in 2025, the idea that identity or geography alone can deliver political power feels not just outdated, it feels dangerously disconnected. Cameroon today is not the Cameroon of the past. A new generation, young, wired and weary of slogans, is demanding much more than ethnic arithmetic. They are asking for leadership that offers a plan, not a tribe. And then there is the economic picture. Chronic underinvestment, crumbling infrastructure and widespread unemployment continue to frustrate the Grand North citizens. Promises based on population size fall flat when daily life remains a grind. Meanwhile, the central government in Yaoundé remains as strategically entrenched as ever, with critics describing its mastery of the art of divide and rule. Any serious bid for power will require more than numbers. It will take alliances, vision, and a message that resonates far beyond regional lines. The truth, demographics may inspire ambition, but they don't guarantee legitimacy. In this political moment, what counts is not how many people you have behind you, but what future you're offering them. Until then, talk of a quote, northern turn at the presidency risks sounding less like a strategy and more like wishful thinking.
Thanks very much, Interlocutor Divine Ramsey Jr. Douala roads are buckling under the pressure of booming car ownership and, of course, unchecked urban sprawl. But thousands of private car owners are struggling to navigate the congested roads, as Morinji tells us.
Owning a personal vehicle in Douala might be a sign of progress, but navigating the city's streets is an entirely different matter.
Non, c'est pas du tout facile.
It's not at all easy because of the uncivic attitudes of the population. The state of the road cannot contain the number of vehicles, talk less of motorbikes. According to the General Directorate of Customs, over 52,000 vehicles were imported in Cameroon in 2022. By 2025, Douala's growing vehicle population, compounded by ongoing road networks and the rise of commercial motorbike taxis, is straining the city's already fragile transport infrastructure.
Si vous avez, par exemple, un rendezvous,
if you have a rendezvous, then it might not be easy. When you get trapped in traffic, engine is on the move and your fuel is affected. To be at work at 8 a.m., you should leave your home at 5 a.m. Motorbikes everywhere, just like dirt that have flooded the town, contributing to traffic. There are neighborhoods where it is easy, where there are no cars, but the roads are small, the bikes are not respecting anything, and they insult you. The consequences are not just felt by drivers, the environment is taking a hit too, as prolonged traffic jams increase fuel consumption and emissions. The air is polluted. It is because of the gas that is emitted in the air, which comes from vehicles. In response, local authorities plan to construct a major road along the banks of the Wari River and finally implement the long-delayed Bus Rapid Transit System, an initiative first announced in 2014 for a city now home to over 3 million residents.
And on the sidelines of urban transportation, commercial bike riders are known to fear urban disorder. Sidewalks have become roads, traffic laws have been ignored, and pedestrians are grappling with unsafe sidewalks. And with over 700,000 motorbikes in circulation, the city is actually struggling to restore order. Sherifa Saleh.
Commercial motorbikes have become both a symbol of mobility and a source of deep frustration. From central avenues to the narrowest back streets, these two-wheeled vehicles dominate the landscape, often at expense of order and safety in Douala. With over 70,000 commercial motorbikes estimated to be operating in the city, according to Douala City Council and trade unions, their presence is inescapable. The ability to wave through traffic is a convenience for many, but their disregard for traffic rules and public spaces often creates more problems than solutions. Some riders admit the job isn't ideal, but say it's their only option. Urban planners and authorities are struggling to keep pace, despite multiple efforts by the City Council to regulate the sector, including registration campaigns and designated parking areas. Enforcement remains weak. Commercial motorbikes fill a gap in Douala's limited public transport network, offering affordable and flexible travel. But critics argue that without tighter control, the city risks losing its ability to function. For now, the city's streets remain a daily battleground between convenience and chaos.
Thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh. Let's move over to the northwest region, precisely in the chief town of Bamenda. And the question they are raising is how very frequent or regular do women check their health situation? This question was on the table by a group of women who have been discussing on women's health. But Sherifa Saleh and Annie Collins are saying that this group of women are out to make sure they help their peers for regular health checkups.
How regular do women check on their health situation? A question answered with mixed reactions by some women in Bamenda.
I check on my DP, I check on my sugar levels so regularly because I have a history, parents, hypertension, and diabetes.
On the occasion of their 10th anniversary, a group of women under the name March Fire Nations Cameroon stopped over at the Presbyterian Church Ngomkam in Bamenda with a pack of 12 church hymn books, a special basket, before wrapping up with health talks to the women as part of the group's spiritual component.
We need to understand their well-being, and by doing so, they need to be healthy. They need to cut down on eating the processed food. They need to take a lot of water, and they need to carry out a lot of physical exercises in order to keep themselves healthy because of the important role that the woman has in the society, in the family, and in the world.
Over at the Parku Vita in Tatmulung, March Fire Nations members, children and a matron had early morning keep fit sessions like jogging, kilometers walk and aerobic exercises directed by sports instructors who expressed happiness for yet another gesture from the ladies.
We're working with children with Down syndrome. And these children, physically, they have challenges. So we wanted to inculcate exercises into their daily routines so that their flexibility.
This will help to increase the number of steps that we have here at Parku. These steps are used for aerobic workouts. So
the women are not turning a blind eye to children with special needs in a society. Though not present today, the group has in mind children with the Down syndrome.
Gathering women is difficult. For women to have been together for 10 years and always celebrated success, we've not lost any member, we've had marriages, we've had children.
In all, women of March Fire Nations Bamenda have entrusted their prayers, wishes and aspirations for a better society to the Almighty.
And that report there by Sherifa Saleh and Annie Collins draws the curtain for this edition of the 615 with me, Kejang Henry at TB, in which you got information that there is a bizarre wave of disappearing manhoods that has hit the city of Yaoundé. But then it's all hoax, though security officials have arrested too many people behind that trend. Lee Piju is just right ahead with the debrief, the actuality from all of us. It's goodbye from me.
International.